Sunday, 4 p.m, we will be live for a watch-along off of this channel when Chelsea take the trip to the City Ground in an absolute make-or-break fixture. It is in Enzo Maresca's team's hands going into the final day. Win at Nottingham Forest, and it does not matter what Manchester City, who else is there even in it? Aston Villa, Newcastle,
Aston Villa, and Forest.
Ultimately, what Nottingham Forest do, because Chelsea will be sitting in those Champions League spots unless there is something like a 20-goal swing on the goal difference.
Which could happen when Man United are playing.
It could happen.
To be fair.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Should we quickly have a quick sort of condolence for any Man United fans watching today?
I just want to say, before we get into Man United, this is going to be one of the biggest live streams that you've seen since Joey and I did a cup final live stream for Liverpool together. Ooh. It's going to be here in the studio.
Tasty.
So you're going to want to have your notification bells on. You're going to want to be subscribed. This is going to be the biggest live stream on YouTube probably ever.
And speaking of big deals on YouTube, how nice is it to have the big dog, Josh Aveste, back in the studio. Josh, this is the first time we've seen each other in a long time.
It's just nice to be in your presence.
How long
again.
have we not seen each other for physically?
I think near enough 2 weeks, maybe 10 days, which is a long time for us. Considering we are now best friends, it's a very long time for best friends not to see each other. It really is. I've missed you very much. There have been... I don't know. There's been some small stuff that you've been up to. Should we even bother talking about it?
Bits and pieces here and there. Beating 5-time former world champions, and then everyone slagging me off on the internet about it. It is what it is.
Nothing's changed really there. Slagging you off on the internet. To be fair.
Beat a 5-time world champion. Still shit. He was old.
Well done, mate. Though you should be very, very proud of yourself. Joey has completed
boxing
the Misfits, and I know that you will all send your regards and your congratulations to a man that is a huge fighter and basically potential future champion of the lightweight division.
There we go. Couldn't have put it better myself.
Well done, mate. Do you know what is very funny? We did some stuff on Joey and Josh while Joey was away. I did a live stream by myself. If you aren't subscribed to Joey and Josh, have a subscription. Go and have a look now, a little sniff. But a lot of people were sending their well wishes and their regards to you there, and I know that a lot of the Chelsea fans will be doing the same. So we're glad to have you back talking about Chelsea and hopefully a bit less about the boxing.
There you go. That's what I'm looking forward to. Either way. Now, going into the final day of the season, can you remember how many times Chelsea have had Champions League football on the line going into the final day of the season?
I remember there was a game against Wolves recently that we had to play to get top 5, wasn't it? Top 4.
Was that on? Are you sure it was against Wolves or was it against Aston Villa?
I thought it was against Wolves.
It may well have been.
I think it was an easier game, and Mason Mount.
It was the Thomas Tuchel game.
Yeah.
Right. So, if memory serves me right, it might have been against Wolves. I thought it was against Villa, or Villa had something to do with it somewhere in there. But either way, I think that we didn't get the result. We got the draw, but the draw was still enough for us.
Yes.
And you know what? I've said a lot about this game. I've been saying it for like near on months, really, haven't I?
Yeah.
Right? I said about this game that I have got a funny feeling that a draw will be enough to get us Champions League football in this game.
Which I also kind of agree with. So who are you thinking are going to drop points?
I think that Villa are going to drop points to Man United.
So the context of this is obviously Man United have lost a European final. As of the time of recording, it was last night. And
what's the best ability?
Bounce back ability.
Bounce back ability.
And they are going to want to win. And the context of this is very important. Man United are at home. It's at Old Trafford. It's falling down. The whole club is falling to pieces, to answer your question earlier on. And we do need to send our condolences to any Man United fans. But quite frankly, there aren't any watching, so don't worry about it. I do think that a result against Aston Villa is entirely possible. They're not going to win the game, are they? Man United. No, they're not going to win.
If they draw it, they could win it.
If they draw it, they could win it.
If they score more goals than they concede, they're going to have a good chance of winning the game.
The problem with Man United is they don't like scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah.
Oh God, we love him. No, they've not scored a lot of goals, Man United. So it's gonna be a tight one.
What? Højlund hasn't nicked the golden boot just yet,
mate.
He's a great player, though, isn't he?
I was there at Stamford Bridge and I watched him play. I was always of the opinion that he's one of those players that could turn it around, a young player that could get better. I don't think he can. I don't think he can.
He don't look like... You know what people used to say about like Jackson at times and whatever,
Yeah.
and I think it's really... Even though Jackson's not flavour of the month right now because he's fucked us over a little bit going into the end of the season, I think that this criticism was really unfair when people would say like, oh, you don't understand the game and stuff like that. I used to look, and I'm going to piss you off now, I used to look at Mudryk and I used to think he's a phenomenal athlete. He's a phenomenal athlete and he could come good, but he don't understand the game that well.
We would be so much better with Mikhailo Mudryk playing right now. He's better than Jadon Sancho.
I'm telling you now that he understands the game of football less than Tyreek George, and that's saying when Tyreek George is a fucking teenager coming through the academy. And I don't think you can even really argue with that.
I think he's got more natural gifts than Tyreek George.
Who's been more impactful in their first sort of... You know, not even season. First sort of glimpses.
I'm not going to slag off Tyreek George. I'm just not. But I'm also not going to slag off Mikhailo Mudryk.
No, but they want to know. They want to know. They want to know the answer.
Who would I rather be playing?
Yeah,
Mikhailo Mudryk every day of the week, twice on Sundays. Every day of the week. I love Tyreek George, but I think as a winger, I want to see Mikhailo Mudryk on the pitch, and I think he tears it up. Mikhailo Mudryk has got more natural talent from i.e. pace, ability to put a ball past someone. Sometimes, mate, you just need someone quick and be able to beat it, man.
Well, I'll tell you where Mikhailo Mudryk was quite good.
Against Forest.
Last season, running in behind against
even this season, by the way.
Forest.
Even this season.
Did he play against Forest?
He played in the 1-1 draw against Forest. He put in a cross, almost one of the last kicks of the game. Don't know if you remember this. It was Christian Nkunku as a false 9 in the middle of the pitch. He had a diving header to win that game, and he put it straight at the goalkeeper from a Mikhailo Mudryk cross.
I think that if Mikhailo Mudryk had have been fit and available for us, when we've had this sort of striker crisis and we've sort of shoehorned Pedro Neto in there, Tyreek George in there, I think that if Mikhailo Mudryk had been available, we'd have definitely at least tried him through the middle. Because he's played in centre attacking mid. Do you remember that game against Newcastle?
Which he
when
looked
they played
really good in, by the way.
Quite good, but
yeah. Let's not make this a Mikhailo Mudryk podcast.
Either way, right? Mixed memories in terms of a hunting ground, the City ground for us. I was at the 1-1 draw there.
Yeah.
I think Sterling scored for us.
Great memories.
And I think...
Great player.
Did Olaine score for them?
That would make sense because we always get players that were former Chelsea pros scoring against us.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
He's a great player.
I miss him.
Yeah, I didn't really know him to miss him, if that makes sense.
But I miss him now.
Yeah, I miss him now, but to be honest, when we let him go, I didn't really know.
Who would have thought that he would be one of those players that we really miss out of all of the crop of players that we've let go?
Well, not even just that we've let go. Like, if you look at Nottingham Forest... You would have said Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Would you rather have Ola Aina in our team than Callum Hudson-Odoi right now? The answer is no. The answer is Callum.
Because we're stacked there.
There you go.
Yeah. So you'd rather... I mean, left wing, fuck me. We could do it Callum Hudson-Odoi.
We could... by the way, he'd be starting.
Would he? Would he be starting over Mudryk?
Well, no, because Mudryk isn't available. If Mudryk's back...
No, but would he? Because you said to me once that Mudryk is twice the player that Callum Hudson-Odoi is.
Can I just say...
You still believe that?
Can I just say, right?
Still believe it?
I'll come back to your question.
No, Mr. Politician. Do you still believe that Mikhailo Mudryk is twice... You do?
I do.
That is dying on your
honestly,
shield.
But honestly, like the drugs cheating stuff is ruining your perception of him. He's still a wonderful player. Anyway, by the way, getting back onto bets, I got a DM from someone recently that reminded me of a bet that you and I made around this table, and in fact, we had a steak dinner on it. Do you remember what this bet was?
No, but I'll happily buy you a steak dinner if I've lost the bet. What is it?
The bet was at this point, I think it was the quarter-final of the Europa League, and Joey and I were discussing who was going to be making the final and who could potentially win it. Now, at the time, Man United were drawing their game. It was going into a second leg, and Tottenham Hotspur were 1-0 down, I think, to AZ Alkmaar. And you said to me, there's no way on earth, in any dimension, that Tottenham Hotspur are going to win a European trophy.
Proper Chelsea.
And which I love. And you bet me a steak dinner that Man United had a better chance of winning it than Tottenham Hotspur. So thank you very much. I will have my steak dinner.
Okay.
I really appreciate it.
That's fair. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I'll get you a steak
I had
dinner,
to tell
no
you. I had
problem.
to tell you about this. Someone reminded me, and I would have forgotten otherwise. So I really appreciate that.
No
DM.
worries. No worries. We'll do it. Let's not speak about Tottenham because ultimately,
They're still shit.
What did Tottenham do?
I mean, they beat probably one of the worst teams we've ever seen in the Premier League.
They beat relegation fodder to win a European trophy. Now, I'm sorry.
Who did we beat to win our secondary European trophy? Still a shit team.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
And Benfica, or was it at Benfica's ground?
No, it was that the Branislav Ivanovic header? Or was that the
Was it
Super Cup?
Benfica, wasn't it?
Was that the Super Cup?
No, Europa.
Was the Branislav Ivanovic header that
We've
I'm
won
talking
two
about?
Europas.
Yeah, but was the Branislav Ivanovic header in the Super Cup or was it in the final for that?
I can't remember.
I can't remember that either.
I can't remember.
Um,
But either way,
mad.
Either way, we've won two of them, and we're about to win the Conference League. And what Tottenham didn't do is they didn't turn up in the Conference League. And you must treat all trophies very, very serious.
I love how confident you are going into this game.
Why wouldn't I be?
Fair enough, Anthony.
Anthony, Robertese.
Can we bring it back to the Champions League places? Shall I read out the table?
Yes.
Very quickly. So, 1 and 2 are settled, Liverpool and Arsenal. I think they're very clear in their places. They can't be caught. Then you've got Manchester City on 68 points. They are playing, remind me, Fulham
away.
Fulham away.
Can I just give you
Go on.
my take?
Don't say that.
They're dropping points.
Draw? Fair enough.
City don't always do well against Fulham.
No.
And I'm more on about recent and then far past. So, like, say, for example, the season City came up was the season that Fulham came up, yeah?
Yeah.
Not half, but a percentage of these lot don't remember. You weren't alive. But the season that City came up was the season...
Do you know what year that was?
2002.
That's crazy.
Did
they both stay in the league?
Eh?
Did they both stay in the league when they came up? Did Fulham stay in the league?
Yeah. Back
Mad.
in them days, everyone used to stay in the league.
Fair.
But it was 2002, 2003 season, I believe they were in the league for. So it might be an 01-02 season they got promoted.
Okay.
But Fulham were the champions, weren't they? And Man
Yeah.
City came up,
It wouldn't have been playoffs, would it?
No, I don't think it was for the playoffs.
It was second.
Second. And I think maybe Charlton or someone came up with them. But you lot can tell me. But either way, Fulham have been a little bit of an Achilles heel for Man City at times. Like, even when Man City have had wins against them, they ain't been convincing, have they? No. Like, I think the win against... Did they win against Fulham earlier on in the season?
I don't know, I'd have to check.
I feel like they did, and I feel like it was only a scraped win. But, I don't know, my head's still a bit all over the place from the boxing. I got punched a few times, don't worry about that. Man City, I think, will drop points against Fulham. I'm putting it out there.
Okay,
who else
so
you got?
They won, by the way, earlier on in the season, they won 3-2 against Fulham, I believe.
There you go. So
I
was right.
Yeah, you
and
weren't
went
far off
behind
that.
once or twice, I think. So.
Yeah, you weren't far off that. So, to recap, City in third on 68 points. Joey thinks we can catch them. Newcastle are on...
Hold on. I didn't say we could catch them. I said I think they might draw. Hit me with the other results.
Okay. So, they might draw. That would mean they would end up with 69 points. Newcastle are on 66 points with a goal difference of 22.
Winning at home against Everton in the final day of the
Which
season.
is very interesting that people, I think, are saying that that's such an easy write-off win.
It is.
Okay, well, let's see. Right.
It's St James's, mate.
Fair enough. Right, Chelsea.
And I'm pretty sure, Spurs might have something to say about this. I'm pretty sure Newcastle versus Everton is the most played fixture in top flight history.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. Again, I'm probably spouting a load of bollocks. But
that's very interesting fact. Well done. Chelsea are also on 66 points. We, conversely to Newcastle 22, only have a goal difference of 20. So, not too far off.
And Newcastle on how many points more than us?
Same points. 66.
Yeah. I think it's more likely that Newcastle enhanced their goal difference against Everton by 2 goals or something.
Yeah.
Like, if we win against Forest, it's 2-1 or 3-2.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one.
Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely going to be a close one. I think the goal-scoring ability of our team right now, I would be happy with the 1-0.
Yeah. So I'm saying Newcastle win, City draw.
Yeah. Okay. And Aston Villa are in 6th. They are also on 66 points with a 9 goal difference. So their goal difference
missed out us on 5th there, yeah?
Yeah, I said us. 66 points, 20 goal difference.
Okay.
In 5th.
You want me to tell you what I think happens?
Are you going to do that right now?
I'll do it with Aston Villa.
Got them.
And then I'll reveal my score
Got them.
prediction for Chelsea later on.
Yeah.
I think that Aston Villa draw to Man United.
Which no one in the entire world is saying is going to happen. But I also kind of agree with you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Am I weird or the
Yes.
creators that answer me honestly, yeah. Am I weird or are these creators that I'm seeing weird? Haven't seen it so much from YouTubers, but the TikTok guys that do the like Chelsea TikTok stuff, loads of different accounts, can't think of anyone's name really, but a lot of them come up on my scroll and a lot of them didn't want Man United to win last night. Is that weird?
I see all over social media, if you, in any way as a Chelsea fan, congratulate Spurs or say that you'd rather Spurs have won against Man United, you are the worst fan in the entire world.
That's what I kind of think.
Yeah. That's what everyone is saying right now.
No, but on TikTok, look on TikTok. I'm not being disrespectful. I don't actually know these lots' names, but because obviously I watch Chelsea videos, they come up on my scroll. There's one of their names I do know. I can't think of his name. If I showed you his name, but he does Chelsea TikTok. I don't think he does YouTube.
Okay. He was happy that Man United won.
There was a few. There was like no, that Man United lost. There was like a few going like, oh yeah, we don't want Man United to win, whatever. Mason Mount and all this stuff, and I'm like, Spurs overrides all of that. You do not want Spurs to win a trophy. Because now, even more so, the pressure's on, right? The other night, we could have lost that Europa League final. Say, for example, Man United had won, we could have lost that. Because if Man United had won, we had a secured Champions League football, I'd have gone, I want to win the Europa Conference, but I ain't that bothered. Like, if we've got Champions League football next season anyway, I want to win it, but I ain't all that bothered if Man United had won. Now Spurs have won. Fuck me. We need to get Champions League football to say, right, no matter what, all these fucking losses you've had in the Premier League, we've still level with you in terms of we've accomplished what you have this season. You might have won a trophy, but it doesn't mean anything because you were shit in the league. All it means you've got Champions League football next season. So we have to secure Champions League for me to go, Chelsea have had just as good a season as Spurs. And then we've had a better season than them if we win a trophy. Because we win a trophy and we automatically did what winning the trophy got them. Do you know what I mean?
Can I provide the other side of the coin then?
Go on, him.
So the other side of the coin is, I feel that Spurs are not a threat in any way to Chelsea, even though they've got Champions League. I feel their manager is going to get sacked. I feel they will have a few players that leave. And I'm not even worried about, even if they strengthened and kept all the players they had, I'm not particularly worried about Spurs.
No.
In any way, right? So then you go to Man United. If Man United had won that game, they would have got all of the Champions League money. They would have been able to save themselves. They get the momentum. And I think Man United are more of a threat to Chelsea.
Yeah.
In the long run.
Yeah.
So therefore, I was actually quite happy that Man United lost, to be honest with you, because I see them as a bigger long-term threat than I do Tottenham. I'm not worried about Tottenham.
You know, you're actually wrong though in terms of like if you look from a PSR perspective and things like that. Like Man United will now be forced to.
Man United are fucked. Man United are, from a financial perspective, screwed.
They'll sell Garnacho. They're kind of happy to do that. They don't really care.
They're going to have to sell Bruno.
They're probably going to have to sell Bruno. I'm not sure.
They will.
But if someone comes knocking with 50 for Kobe Mainu, they'd have to sell him.
Of course.
And
they're not getting Liam Delap now,
by the way, we quickly speak about some of these Chelsea transfer rumours, right? I am full-fledged against us letting Enzo Fernandez go.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. I am not for it. But can I give you a doomsday scenario if he went?
I don't think this is a doomsday scenario.
It's a doomsday for me because I don't want Enzo Fernandez to go. Okay. Right? And he's not going to go. So we're just talking shit now. Skip 2 minutes if you want. But
never skip any of the content, by the way.
Never skip any of our content. But if Enzo Fernandez was to go and Real Madrid would put up 120 million for him, so it made a little bit of a profit on him. Again, I don't want this to happen. You could go and you could raid Man United and get Kobe Mainoo at a cut price deal.
Replacing Enzo Fernandez with Kobe Mainoo is the biggest come down I think I've ever seen since you went to Ibiza.
Yeah. No, I know. Enzo's miles ahead, but I'm just saying, if you said to me now, if you said it's out of your hands, it's happening, Enzo's going, the first person I would think of would be Kobe Mainoo.
The first person that I'm thinking of is...
But just quickly, before we get into all that, it is the last day of the Premier League season. Simultaneous kickoffs, which is always lovely for an accumulator. And there is only one place that we would be putting on our accumulator this weekend. And that, my friends, is with Josh.
Steakmate. Steakmate is the partner of the Joey Night podcast. As you guys know, it is almost like as if Bet365 and Snapchat had a baby. Have you heard about this? They've got tons of 5-star reviews and they are the fastest growing betting website in the entire country. So you're going to be in good hands.
They are the absolute bollocks, if I must say so myself. Not only are you able to bet, they've built a community, definitely for ourselves at least, the Joey Night squad, on there where we speak to so many more people that are putting their bets on every weekend. Constantly people having good winners in there. Sometimes it's 100 quid. We've had them up to about 1,000 quid.
Yeah, Connor. Do you remember Connor was the guy? We called him Connor the Oracle because he just made all this money. Joey, tell me about what your ACCA is going to be this weekend because I basically need to earn some money.
So here we go.
You.
This is a sure thing.
Okay.
This is still the century. Fulham to draw against Man City. Man United to draw against Aston Villa. Tottenham, for some reason, to get the win at home to Brighton. And Chelsea to win away at Nottingham Forest. Now, I am not a man that likes to gamble that much, but if I do like to gamble, I like high stakes.
So how much are you winning off that bet then?
Well, I'm actually not going to put high stakes, and I'm only going to put a fiver on because the return is 635 quid.
That's a big bet. And remember, if you sign up to Stakemate, you'll get lots more bonuses as you play, and you also will get a free bet when you join as well. So make sure you hit the link in the description. But Joey, what else we got to tell them?
You need to be 18 years old or over. You do need to be living inside the UK. And most importantly, we all need to remember to gamble responsibly. Thank you very much to Stakemate for their support, not only on this video, but throughout the season. Let's get back into it.
2 or 3 people. Victor Osman, Nico Williams, and Rodrigo. I'm talking about...
I'm more saying in that position.
Yeah, but if you're talking about Man United, I don't want any of their players... barring probably a player like Bruno, but would he even get in our team?
Probably not.
There you go. So I don't even give a fuck about Man United. I'm thinking, let's get Delap in as a backup striker. He's now not going to go to Man United because they've got no European football. He won't go there. Bring Delap in as a backup and then invest the money that we're going to do in other signings. We need a backup striker.
If we bring Delap in as a backup, that doesn't like. Do you know what I wouldn't mind? I wouldn't mind if we went and bought Delap in and bought in João Pedro.
João Pedro rumours scare me so much because he's not a striker.
He's a good player.
I've
always thought he's a good player.
He's a decent player. He's not a good player. He's a decent player. We should be hunting in a different... we should be in a completely different place. I'd rather have Ruta.
I know he's just been at Brighton. But when you look at like Watford... Richarlison didn't really make the jump from Watford to Everton unreal, and then he's gone Spurs. And
Has João Pedro made a jump?
Well, he's played for Watford and Brighton, hasn't it?
Yeah, but has he made a jump? Has he improved at Brighton?
Yeah.
Are his numbers that good?
They're not that good, but he's improved at Brighton. Yeah, because he's playing for a club further up the league. Obviously, Watford are in Championship. He's playing for a club further up the league. And he's still delivering the same amount of numbers that he was for...
Do you want to be raiding Brighton again?
No. Well, I mean, fucking hasn't gone too badly for us.
Mate, we're talking... We're talking...
Too shit, too good.
Joey, we're talking
Potter, Sanchez.
Yeah.
Sorry, but shit.
Yeah.
Yeah? Caicedo, Cucurella, bargains.
So you think the next one's going to be a bargain?
Don't know, really. I haven't really thought about it. I want Gyökeres,
But this is the thing, right? We're talking about Gyökeres, Osimhen, Šeško. Like, we're talking about really, really good players. And then we're talking about João Pedro. It's, I think we can...
Can I ask you a question?
We can get better.
Can I ask you a question, right?
Go on.
the outcome of these two cup finals that we now have, away at the City Ground and then in Poland against Real Betis, does Enzo Maresca's job, I know we've heard the briefings that it doesn't, but we heard plenty of briefings around Pochettino and they never fucking came true. Does his job rely upon these two games?
If we lose both the games, there's a high chance he'd get sacked.
Really?
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, we'd completely failed the season. We've been in a competition that we shouldn't have even been in, wasted so much time. To lose it in the final, it would just be a disgrace. And then to not get Champions League will significantly impact what we can do in the summer, to be fair.
I think that this is a season where it's... People wouldn't think this because they'd look at the Champions League race, yeah?
Yeah.
And they'd go, how can you say that? Look how tight it is and look at points tallies from other seasons and whatever. I understand that, yeah? I understand that. Points tally-wise from other seasons is not a million miles off. From third till, what, 7th?
Yep.
Is it? There is only a couple of points in it.
3, to be precise.
3 points in it, right?
Yeah.
But, regardless of all of that, no one is in this position because they've been good. Most people are in this position because they've done 2/3 of the season good, yeah? Maybe 1/3 good, 1 all right, and then 1/3 of the season bad. So Man City have done 2/3 of the season shit and 1/3 of the season good, got themselves up there. Nottingham Forest are the best on form in terms of, not on form at the minute, but 2/3 of the season really good, 1/3 of the season coming down, whatever. Chelsea have gone on fire, shit, somehow managing to get results, right? And Villa started rubbish and then got better. And you'd say the same for Newcastle. Not quite rubbish, but then got better. So, because of the fact that I don't think barring Nottingham Forest, who are actually the ones with the least likelihood percentage chance now, given by Opta or whatever it is, of actually qualifying, because they're the only ones that I actually would, regardless now of how it finished, say, yeah, you've had a really good season, rather than you've had good parts, you're a little bit patchy, right? Because they're the only one, I think it's criminal this season to not get Champions League football. I almost, and I don't want to hold us to the standards that we had earlier in the season, it's almost a little bit criminal that we haven't got second place this season, in my opinion.
That
when
is
you
mad
look at,
to say,
when,
isn't it?
It's mad to say, but it's not that mad to say on the context of this season.
No.
Would you massively disagree
I
with
wouldn't,
that,
because
Josh?
you look at results like the Ipswich results, there's been so many other games where we've been so diabolically average and we haven't scored goals when we should have scored. But we've conceded, we've had so many errors.
But mate, let me tell you the thing about this, right? Those games were still... Like, what did we get beat by Arsenal away? 1-0?
Let me look at that.
2 in the end.
1-0,
1-0, right? They were dominant for the game. It was like a 1-0, but it wasn't even a close 1-0. But what I'm saying is, there's results in there, for example, like the Fulham game that we lost, yeah? I know we ended up scoring last-minute winners against Fulham, so what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
But like that Fulham game that we lost, yeah? Last-minute winners. Like... not even last minute winners, equalisers, then winners, yeah? There's the game like the Man City game, which we were in front and on top in for the first 20 odd minutes, then we just went off the ball. There's games like the Arsenal game where we only got beat 1-0 away. They're small margins, mate. They're small margins. And if you can make up those small margins, which is mostly down to good management, I'm not putting the knife in on Enzo Maresca, but that is the sort of thing that, and I'm not calling for him back, but that is the sort of thing that a Jose Mourinho changes. He changes you drawing them games into winning them games and losing them games into drawing them games, yeah? Those small margins being made up would have seen us second. You can't really debate that, can you?
No, you can't. And there were other games like the Brighton 3-0 that were really disappointing, like draws to Everton. Like we should have had so many more points. But this is the thing. This is why it is a failure. Like a lot of people will be going now, losing to Forest last game of the season away isn't a bad result necessarily because of how good they've been this year. But it's the context of everything else that has happened throughout the season which has got us this point. So yeah, we should be right up there. We should have been cruising. We are better than a lot of those teams around us. I'm sorry to say it. I'd love to know if you agree or disagree with that. I think we're better than City this season. I think we are. Like they've been so bad. They've been awful without Rodri. Awful. And then I personally feel that Newcastle are better than us. I would say that's fair to say.
Yeah.
And then in the course of the season, we'll find out whether we should be better than.
Don't think Villa are better than us.
No, and I think over the course of the season we've probably been better than Forest.
Yeah.
But again, this game is going to change everything. It's much like the European final last night.
Well,
it will change how we perceive the team for the whole season.
Yeah. You know what the main thing is, like, with Forest, I kind of feel like they've been found out a little bit. Whereas with Chelsea, I don't really think we've been found out. I think we just fucking forgot what makes us good.
I think we've just played shit in certain games.
Yeah, there
I think
you go.
We really have. We've got the quality there to win.
Shall we discuss the starting lineup for this game? Because obviously this was a hard one to pick.
Most important lineup of the entire season, this one.
Yeah. And when picking it, I think that we're in a bit of a conundrum at the minute. And it's the whole, we want Lavia on the pitch. We know that Lavia, mate, sometimes on his best day, he's our best player, Romeo Lavia.
Yep.
But I think it goes without saying that as the whole package, when fit and available, our best player is Reece James, right? As the whole package. Many would debate Caicedo, Cucurella, Cole Palmer. I'd have no problem debating it. But I'm on about... This is the biggest game of the season, yeah?
By a mile.
The biggest game since?
Jasper Gronkier getting that goal in the last minute.
I would personally... I know we've had cup finals against Liverpool. I'd personally say it's the biggest game since the Champions League final.
Would you say so, really?
Probably.
More than that Carabao Cup final. Fair enough.
There was... Since then, there's been 2 Carabao Cup finals and an FA Cup final, weren't there?
Yeah, there you
go. 3 cup final losses to Liverpool, I'm sure.
Yeah, awful.
Unless it was 2, it might have been 2.
Yeah,
I thought it was 2 in one season when Lukaku got that goal disallowed. Crazy. But either way, right, I'd say it's our biggest match, really, since the Champions League final. Yeah. And I'd say on big game experience, Reece James is the man in there.
So you're putting him in your team sheet for this one?
He's in a team sheet. Should we have a look at my team sheet?
I'd love to.
Right, on screen now, 29 minutes in, so I remember. Robert Sanchez in goal. We've gone Reece James right back. Trevor Chalobah and Levi Colwill as the centre-back pairing with Cucurella at left back. Then we have shoehorned all 3 of them into this midfield. It's Caicedo, it's Romeo Lavia, it's Enzo Fernandez in the number 10, which will see a return to the right wing for Cole Palmer. Noni Madueke is a man that earlier on in the season I'd thought was exclusive to the right wing and couldn't really do it off the left wing. Actually, I've been impressed when I've seen him off the left wing. I'm not sure I'd agree he's better, but I do think he's good off of the left wing. And then we're going to have Pedro Neto through the middle. Yep. Now, obviously, when we look at that sort of formation, there's different ways it will move. Reece James, we expect to get forward a little bit. Cucurella comes across with obviously Chalobah and Colwill coming into the centre. I think that we're not going to do the whole inverted right back thing with Caicedo in this one, but we would also probably make sure that he is covering that area and making sure that he gets about in that area, which gives Reece a little bit of freedom. Cole Palmer, we know, is not unreal at tracking back and things like that. He needs to be further up the pitch. That's where we utilise him best. We don't want him doing a Harry Kane and dropping in deep and stuff like that, which means Enzo Fernandez will probably drop a little bit deeper, and then you've got Cole Palmer and Madueke as the threats with Pedro Neto through the middle. Now, do you think, Josh, that is a team where we've just pretty much tried to fit all our best players in?
I think it probably is.
Or do you think that's a team that can have success for us?
I think what I worry about with that team, the only worry that I have is how defensive it is. Like, i.e., are we starting off and being quite tame with the way that we're playing against Nottingham Forest? And I don't want to be... I'm going to say it, just plain and simple. I don't want to be going in at half-time 1-0 down or 0-0 against Nottingham Forest and have to win in the second half. Don't know if we do it. So I want to be able to get a goal early. And I worry with that team, are you going to be able to get a goal early enough? But then you think about it and you deep it and you go, Cole Palmer's still in the team, Enzo's still in the team. You've got the powerhouse that is the midfield of Caicedo and Lavia. When Caicedo is next to Lavia, he can bomb on and actually get forward as well, which I really like and I think is really good.
I'll remind you of something else as well.
Go on.
Sorry, just to interrupt you. Remember, Forest need a win. They don't need a draw. There's a lot of games where, like, if you're a Forest fan, you'd settle for a draw. You need to. Not only do you need to win and then hope other results go your way.
Yes.
So when I said
about
Nottingham Forest being a little bit found out at times, that's why I said I'm thinking a 2-1 or a 3-2 in this game. Because I do genuinely believe that this game will be way more open than maybe Nottingham Forest games were earlier on in the season.
I just don't know how we're going to be able to score that level of goals without Nicholas Jackson. Do you know what? I just don't know where the goals come from. So you're predicting that kind of level of goal scoring. Who's scoring the goals?
Well, no, I mean if it's a 2-1, it could pretty comfortably, easily just be Enzo and Cole Palmer. It could be Pedro Neto and Cole Palmer, JOEYK and Cole Palmer.
Have you seen the referee for this game?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about Anthony Taylor very briefly? Does it make a difference?
I almost don't, because I don't want to jinx it.
Does it make a difference?
Well, yeah, it does make a difference because historically he's been very, very poor in his officiating of Chelsea games.
We've had a few.
If you look at the last 4 games
he's
officiated for us. We've lost all 4 of them, haven't we?
I think we won a couple actually.
Okay.
Because he's had a couple of games in the Premier League this season. But yeah, I don't know. I do worry about using that already as a factor to why we would lose. I think we just need to go out and start winning games, to be honest. But I think both teams need to go out and win, don't they? I don't really want to be going into this game thinking that a draw would be enough. Do you? Like, I think if I'm looking at it now, Aston Villa could absolutely drop points against Man United. They absolutely could. A draw isn't going to put us above Man City, and obviously Newcastle, you think, are going to just destroy Everton, which is very conceivable.
I don't think they'll destroy them. I think they'll beat them
2-0. But that's a comfortable win, isn't it?
Everton have had their party. It was last weekend.
Which is a shame this isn't the last game at Goodison, because that's a very different story,
If it's the last game at Goodison,
that's a very different story. Yeah. So we're saying that it will be Man City in 3rd, Newcastle in 4th,
Chelsea in 5th.
And Joey Knight is predicting a Chelsea win, therefore, to get us into 5th.
Oh, yeah, I've said all this about a draw. I'm predicting the win.
Yeah.
I think we're going to win this one 2-1 or 3-2. One of the two.
I'm a little bit more pessimistic. I'm actually going to go for this game for a draw. But I do think that Aston Villa have the potential to drop points against Man United.
Well, we're going to be on stream. What will you do if we win?
If we win,
we have a shot of vodka.
I will get a Mikhailo Mudryk tattoo. No, I won't do that.
He said it. He said he would already.
If we win, I will return the favour of a steak dinner back to you that you owe me.
Oh.
And it'll be a nicer one than you buy for me.
You know what we should do?
Steak and lobster.
We should get what's that thing I like?
Honest Burger.
Honest Burger.
No affiliation to us, but Joey just fucking loves them.
By the way, speaking of affiliation to us, quite a few people will have noticed that if you followed Misfits Fight Week, and obviously in the video, we have been rocking the Nyla t-shirts. Josh has not got his one on today. Very poor form from him.
I just didn't want to match you. I just thought I'd show you up.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean?
I've
they
been
look
rocking
good.
them. And so, should we tell them how this came about?
Yeah, please do. Go on.
So, basically, there is a company that do t-shirts called Nyla, or Nyla, what is it? Nyla Apparel. Nyla Apparel. And they messaged me to ask why I was using their company name on my boxing gear, because my boxing shorts had Nyla on it. I think they thought it was like another company or something that hadn't trademarked or whatever. And I'd said, because it's my daughter's name. And they were like, oh, right. So anyway, they sent me some stuff. No offence, 80% of the time, the stuff you get sent's not great or whatever, clothing-wise and other things and whatever. And then they sent me these T-shirts, and I was like, fuck me, these fit well nice.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. And then I started wearing them, and I was like, we're wearing them a little bit too much. Like, we need at least an affiliate deal with them or something like that. And then now they've started to be successful enough that they can come on board as a little partner of the channel. So
it's very exciting. I don't know if you guys have seen this, because you haven't yet, because the website's just properly launched. You're all over the fucking website.
I know. Some of my training shots are on the website.
They're good photos. Yeah. They're really good photos, to be fair.
So if you're any of the guys that have asked about the t-shirts and stuff, they're selling them on the website now, and we get a small cut for our contribution as well, so it supports the channel.
If you go to the description now, there will be nylaapparel.com in there. You can go and just click on that very easily. They do different colours as well. There's a white t-shirt,
and
there's a black one
that they haven't launched yet.
No, the tracksuits are ready to go.
Oh, they're there.
The tracksuits are ready to go.
I was wearing it on Misfits Fight Week.
It looks good.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Right, I want a score prediction from you.
I think that it's 1-1. I think we go a goal up, but they get a goal back in the last minute.
And where does that leave us?
I think that Aston Villa drop points against Man United. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in that game.
You're going to support Man United for the second time in 1 week.
I wouldn't say I was supporting them the first time.
I was.
I wasn't necessarily supporting either team. I didn't really give a fuck about that game.
It was a shit game, to be honest.
I didn't really care. I would have been happy for either to have lost because it means that both of them are horrendous.
By the way, Premier League team of the season. I know we spoke about EA team of the season.
Makes
ahead
me feel
of
fucking
Caicedo,
sick.
they got 6 players. They got fucking Gravenberch ahead of him.
Lewis
They got
Skelly
Declan
as well, by
Rice.
the way.
Lewis Skelly ahead of Cucurella.
Fucking
He
joke.
started 13 games
It's a
or so. He's
joke.
been sent off twice.
It's a joke. And also, like, they don't even... These boys don't even look at the assists and the goals either.
No.
It's a joke.
Shitters.
Like, honestly...
Even
I
goals
do
for
worry-
Cucurella, important goals.
I also just worry about the capability of these guys. The fact that they get jobs and they're in the mass media. They're speaking of that, like, they know football and they're like meant to be experts in the football scene. They're ex-pros. They honestly don't know that much about football.
And I know the numbers are great, obviously, again, especially for a player of this age, second full season of football. But, like, you feel like if they were to put a Chelsea player in, they'd go, oh, all right, yeah, we ain't got a Chelsea player in there, Palmer.
Yeah, which is just
and
like,
again,
you haven't watched us.
This sounds like I'm Palmer bashing. I'm honestly
you
not.
haven't watched
but again,
us.
it just goes to show, you ain't watched us. You haven't watched... If that's what you're saying, because me and you both know that Caicedo and Cucurella, in my opinion, have had better game for game, game in, game out seasons than Cole Palmer. Absolutely love Cole Palmer. He's been brilliant.
Ditto.
Yeah, but he has had a dry spell. We're not gonna just be deluded as Chelsea fans and make out he hasn't. We know he has. He's had a dry spell. That's fine. All players have it, and that dry spell is still coming in a season where he's put up 20 plus goal contributions, so it doesn't matter. But you'd put Cucurella ahead. You put Caicedo ahead. Some would put Enzo ahead.
Then the players in there because in one of the teams it was Gravenberch. It was McAllister, Rice, and who was the other player?
Gravenberch.
I think Gravenberch was in one of the other teams.
I think Gibbs White was in there ahead. I think
Gibbs White has had a good season, but
not
necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Caicedo. This is the thing, though. Caicedo will never get the plaudits because he does the dirty stuff that no one watches. You never see when you watch Match of the Day, you never see Caicedo.
No, you have to watch games.
Yeah.
But that's their fucking job when you're appointing team of the season.
Caicedo has been by far the best centre mid in the entire league by a mile.
So we're just gonna recap what we've said. Chelsea are finishing 5th. Chelsea are getting Champions League football next season. We're obviously going to get in and preview the Europa Conference League. I won't be able to do a live stream for it because I've got something very, very important. I've got a funeral on that day. But are you going to do one?
If you're not doing one, there is a potential I will do one.
I think you should do one.
Okay. I'll do it just for you.
Do it
in your honour.
Do it in my honour. Do it in my honour. Also, coming off of the channel, we're going to give our end of season awards. And not only that, we've got a few really fun videos planned because we're going to give our end of season awards. We're also going to give a reaction to our season predictions, right? I looked back at my Chelsea season predictions.
I can't wait for this.
Do you know who I had for most assists?
Did you say Enzo?
I had Nkunku.
That's bad. That's really bad.
Shoot me down.
To be fair, though, that was in the middle of pre-season when he was smashing it.
Pretty good. He was looking pretty good. I think I might have had Sterling for surprise player.
Don't say that. That is so bad.
We've got to keep that for the video because that video is going to be a right laugh.
But tune in on Sunday. We'll probably be going live at what? About 3:30?
3:30?
Yeah.
Called it 3:30?
That is one that you don't want to miss. I'm very excited for that live stream, my friend.
Yeah,
very,
it's going to be
excited
good.
for that.
It's going to be good. People, thank you so much for bearing with me. Obviously, I know that I hadn't dropped a Man United preview, a Man United review, and things have been a little bit stale off the channel. But I'm going to be completely honest with you lot. I am not used to losing. The fight before this one just gone was the first in 13 fights that I had lost. I'd had 12 wins. Then I lost that fight. So coming back and getting back to winning ways was just so much importance for me. So I had not to put the channel on the back burner, but I had to just take a little hiatus. Is hiatus the right word?
Yeah, hiatus is a word, yeah.
That's a good word. Yeah, I had to take a little hiatus, but we're back now, and we're going to be pumping out the content, and it's not going to stop because we've got transfer news, we've got the Club World Cup, we've got everything. So you are in the right place, my friends. And if you are one of the 40% that's watching my videos regularly, not just that sometimes clicks on, but regular watchers that aren't subscribed, please do subscribe. You might be older and you might know how to do it, and you might need to get your daughter in to show you how to do it, but please do that, or knock on a next door neighbour's door and just say, look, can you please subscribe me and subscribe yourself while you're at it? I'll make you a YouTube account. Either way, I will see you all in the next one.